I'm Major General Rick Martin, Commander of the U.S. Air Force Expeditionary Center. It's an honor to introduce this documentary. And I'd like to thank the Armed Forces Heritage Museum for taking this effort to remember, to honor, to educate what we do for our country. This is an incredible demonstration of capability that our Air Mobility Command provided on April 25th and in the days and weeks that followed as we supported the Nepalese earthquake response. As an Expeditionary Center Command, we are partnered with the 18th Air Force at Scott Air Force Base. So together, we are the agents of execution for Air Mobility Command. And you'll see some great capability here, but I want to highlight the airmen, and indeed all of those soldiers, sailors, Marines, and other personnel, DoD civilians who make this mobility machine happen. It is their work and the great training and education that they have, the discipline, the professionalism that they demonstrate day in and day out that allow us to do things like this. Within the Expeditionary Center, we pride ourselves on three missions: to train and educate, to enable our partners, and to shape global response. We saw all of those lines of effort take place in this documentary you're about to see. And I would highlight the teamwork that is behind what you'll see on this documentary. And it goes very wide and very far. And I'm very proud of our people that are doing this mission day in and day out. Thank you very much for the opportunity to demonstrate what we do for America every day.
My name is Colonel Eric Simonson. I'm the 305th Operations Group Commander at Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst. I'm in charge of approximately 800 airmen and some sailors as part of the Joint Base. We fly two different types of aircraft in the 305th, KC-10, a refueling and dual-role cargo aircraft, as well as C-17 cargo aircraft.
When the earthquake happened, it was pretty crazy. There was a lot mass confusion, lots of screaming, lots of noise, and overall Nepal, it's a beautiful country, but as far as the structure-wise, it's not the best country. Most of the buildings are old. Some of the buildings were like over 1,000 years old, some of the temples, and they were in very poor shapes, and obviously they didn't stand the magnitude of the earthquake, and they were the first buildings to come down. The aftershocks were pretty crazy too. Just the aftershocks alone were over 6.3 and some even bigger. Seemed like them aftershocks never ended. People were very scared.
So this is one of those cases where a higher priority mission came along. The U.S. wanted to provide support to Nepal for the relief after the earthquake, and what resources are out there. And there are a couple of available resources right here within the 305th's capabilities, KC-10 and C-17, to make that happen. So prior to the mission launching, I think I got a call around 9:30 at night from the Tanker Airlift Control Center at Scott Air Force Base that they were going to use our C-17 to go pick up the Fairfax County search and rescue team and then transport them over to Nepal. And so it was pretty short notice. I mean, you're talking in less than 10 hours we were going to launch the airplane and make all this happen. So it was a quick move, and so that was one of those contingency capabilities. And each time our folks stand ready whenever it comes around to make that happen.
I'm an aircraft commander on the KC-10 Extender, which is the aircraft we're sitting in now in the cockpit. So the KC-10 is one of two air refueling aircraft the U.S. Air Force uses to basically get rapid global mobility anywhere in the world. So we can take off and refuel any Air Force airframe and almost any of our international allies as well. anywhere in the world for a very long period of time. So if we need to get aircraft across the ocean, cargo aircraft, bomber aircraft, fighter aircraft, we take off and we can facilitate getting them across the ocean and wherever they need to be in the world for relief efforts, warfighting efforts, anything that we need to do. So on most of the missions we fly, this is considered a basic crew. So we've got an aircraft commander, a co-pilot, a flight engineer, and then a boom operator. So this is the minimum crew we would need to fly most of our missions. The two pilots up front, our flight engineer who's going to save us, do all of our inspections, checklists, run all of our systems knowledge, and then our boom operator who's going to make sure that we do our primary mission of either onloading, offloading cargo, or air refueling to the other aircraft.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Mendoza, boom operator, 32nd Air Refueling Squadron. I'll go ahead and open the window. So when flight, we'll run our checklist that it's our prep for contact checklist. It will run, requires us to open the window, and then we'll start seeing the receiver. As the receiver starts coming up, we'll start coordinating with them, having them come up to the stern position, which is roughly 50 feet from the boom itself.
Contact.
As we make the contact, the engineer arms up the tanks, and the fuel starts transferring through.
I'm Staff Sergeant Brian Lees with the 32nd Air Refueling Squadron. I'm a KC-10 flight engineer. We got the word the night prior that we might be helping out with the Nepal situation. The engineer is basically the systems expert. He controls the hydraulics, the fuel, the electrics, the air conditioning and the pneumatics, as well as the engine oil and engine instruments. We can transfer gas at different rates depending on the aircraft we're giving it to. During the transfer, I can use all the fuel that's over here and transfer over into the other aircraft.
So normally we show up, one pilot is getting in seat, we run through our checklist to pre-flight the jet and initialize everything and run our systems tests to make sure everything's working properly. And then while we're doing that, the load masters in the back have their whole list of checklists as well, just to make sure that everything is working properly and everything is turned on and initialized before we start engines. So this is the cockpit, C-17. 4 multifunction displays. We have a heads-up display at each seat, which projects some of our information down here onto the heads-up display. It keeps our situation awareness outside, so we don't have to look down as much. Throttle quadrant in the middle. It's a fly-by-wire aircraft, so we got the center stick here, as opposed to the normal yoke you see on most airplanes.
So from the first, we took it from the first crew, and which was here at McGuire, and then we continued on to location Southwest Asia. Once we landed there, we got off the plane, and another crew took it from there. And it took, they were gone for, the plane was gone for a couple days, and then the plane came back. We took it from there, and then came back to Joint Base with that.
So the crew was going to fly down to Dover, pick up the Fairfax County search and rescue team, and then fly over the North Atlantic, meet up with a KC-10 right out of here, out of the 305th, to do the air refueling, and then that plane was going to continue on to Southwest Asia, where they would do a crew change, and then that crew would take that aircraft to Nepal.
What we did on this, so the tanker and us both took off out of Joint Base McGuire here. They took off about 35 minutes after us because they fly a little bit faster. So we got going with them. We were pretty much talking to them on the radios right off the bat, and we got going, like I said earlier, about 6.5, 7 hours into flight is when our refueling was. We have a predetermined place in space that we meet up, and we'll start getting ready about 30 minutes prior to we actually start receiving the gas. We'll start running our checklist and making sure that all our systems are good for receiving gas and everything's in the green, looking good. And then once we both hit that point in space, we maneuver so we are about a mile behind them and 1,000 feet below them. And from that point, we'll adjust our airspeed and altitude to start coming up to the same altitude that the tanker is at, where we'll stabilize about 50 feet behind them. And once both aircraft are ready, we'll go ahead and move in to make a contact where the C-17 will move in and the boom operator and the KC-10 will make contact with the boom, and they will start pumping gas into our systems.
We're pretty proud of what we do. I think we have a strong history of meeting those needs as they come along, and I think this is just one example of what we were able to do.
Hi, I'm Colonel John Price, and it is indeed my privilege to be the Can-Do Wing Commander for the 305th Air Mobility Wing. Each and every day, the men and women of the 305th Air Mobility Wing provide combat power and global reach for America. As you just saw in this video, we were able and were given the opportunity to provide disaster relief across the world on a moment's notice to the folks in Nepal. Our airmen are trained and ready each and every day, and whether it is disaster response, as in this instance, whether it's humanitarian relief, or whether it's combat power that needs to be delivered around the world, our airmen stand ready and are trained each and every day. Since 1942, the Can-Do Wing has been delivering this for America. And today, we stand ready waiting for the next opportunity for us to serve America. Thank you.